being here that I'm back at SF. It means that we're doing some traveling. It's the day one of our trip to Germany, and I am running on about 1 hour of sleep right now. I'm super tired. Can't wait till we load. We have about an hour until we load the plane, so everything seems pretty good so far. The reason for the 1 hour of sleep, Mom forgot her ID at home in the East Bay, and being that we were out in San Francisco, I had to drive all the way back to go grab her ID, and that was at midnight, so we have an early morning flight. The flight is at 8:30, meaning we're boarding at about 8 o'clock, maybe like 7:50-ish, and that's not so long from now. I am dead tired. Alright, anyways, I'll check in a moment here, but yeah, next stop should be in New York. I hope to get some Shake Shack when we're there. Alright, check in a minute.
Passenger Lena.
Alright, so I'm gonna just try to talk over all the overhead speech here, but we've made it to New York. It was an uneventful flight. I slept for most of it, had one meal on it. It was a turkey bagel sandwich. And then landed in JFK and had a little bit of Shake Shack, which was pretty much the plan. So we're just waiting for our plane to load now. We got our boarding passes as well as everything is all set. We should hopefully be in Frankfurt at, tomorrow morning. I will say that we did have to check in our carry-on luggage, so I don't know if there's going to be an issue there. I hope not, you know, knock on wood. So anyhow, yeah, we're just checking, or we're just waiting here at the gate, and we'll check in a moment.
Alright, so we are getting off of the plane now. We are disembarking. Apparently we're going to end up on the tarmac. The flight itself was pretty good, a little bumpy, but it was 7.5 hours from JFK to here. And on top of that, we had the 5-hour flight coming in from San Francisco. So a little tired, but we had some pretty good meals though. Like I know for this leg of the trip we were allowed either pasta or seared chicken. Apparently the seared chicken was just meh. I had the vegetarian pasta and that was really good. And then we got a breakfast box which consisted of a muffin, slice of cheese, and some yogurt, which is pretty nice. Had a chocolate mint in there. I didn't know that, so I kind of just didn't eat it, unfortunately. Yeah, so hopefully we will be able to get our luggage and move along. Thank you so much. Thank you. And so, yeah, so continues our trip in Frankfurt. Thank you.
If you get a chance.
I'll admit, I don't know how many times I've been on the tarmac. Maybe Hawaii was the last time, I don't know. So we've exited the main part of the airport and now we're getting our car rental. And it's quite busy here. You can hear the crying baby in the background. Took us a little while to get through immigration, what they call border control, but it's funny because the process itself is very quick. You just show them your ID and they go through it. Oh, excuse me. It's quite a trek from the tarmac to get all the way here though, so yeah, we'll touch base once we have our car and all that jazz. Cheers. So we have gotten our rental car and we're on our way to the Würzburg, the Würzburg residence, and it's approximately an hour and 15 minutes away from the Frankfurt airport. We're still trying to figure out all the signs and traffic symbols and whatnot here, and we are not quite used to how everything sits, so we're just figuring things out as we go along. So we have made it to Würzburg, but we're still about 10 minutes away from our destination, but we're getting our bearings about. So it's pretty neat little town, very quaint. Alright, so after about an hour and a half's drive worth from Frankfurt to Würzburg, we finally arrived at the Würzburg residence. Google was a godsend with it, so it worked out pretty well. We're still trying to learn all the traffic signs as I had mentioned earlier, but we figured most of it out as we went along, so I think we did alright. But now, here is the residence. It would seem as though there's a lot of historic things in this particular town. As we're driving here, we drove past what looked like a fortress, and then as we're driving towards here, 5 minutes ago, we also saw a large church and a couple of old, more traditional looking buildings. So yeah, we're gonna walk in, see what it's like. So since cameras weren't allowed inside the actual palace itself, the gardens are free. It also has a cafe that's attached to it, which is kind of nice. And it's really nice. This is like San Francisco weather. Maybe a little chillier, but it's really nice over here. So after much driving and getting lost as to what's a street and what's not a street, we have now arrived to the main square that we were trying to get to. Almost everything that leads to this is a walkway only, even though it's like an alleyway that's wide enough for a car. You still can't drive there during certain times, it would appear.
Alright, so we are now in the middle of Würzburg, and there was a lot of driving involved, trying to figure out a parking area, and probably driving in an area we shouldn't have been driving in, so oops. But I guess that's just par for the course. Did that in Spain and now did it in Germany. So Mom's looking at a chocolate store, trying to get some coffee, I think she's looking at. And I don't know where Lynn ran off to, but we were just looking at the Franken house, I believe it was. And that was pretty cool. Just one of the churches here. I was looking at that, and then the waterfall that's really a monolith that has a waterfall, or not waterfall, a fountain kind of built into it. And then was doing a deal where, I don't know what church this is, but there's another church right here that we're checking out, and the Muni, or whatever they call it, their Roman car keeps going by, their street car, so if you can't hear me, my bad. Anyhow, I am so tired. Oh, we also had lunch or dinner, and that was pretty amazing. We went to the Kot House and had like pork knuckle, this Chinese stir fry, and like a mac and cheese type of dish. That was actually really good. The Chinese thing, not so great, and then the pork shoulder was kind of hit or miss on depending on what you're eating. So yeah, but I think after this we're going to one of the older bridges here, and then to the hotel after that. So check back in a moment.
Now we are on our way to the main bridge, which is barely 2 blocks away from the main fountain, which is behind me. So it's quite popular. Apparently everyone is wine tasting or something of the nature in and around this area. It's pretty much just a pedestrian bridge only. Hey dog. So it's still really cool though, just very crowded.
Currently on the old bridge in Würzburg, checking out the sights, getting some shots here. It's super pretty. It does really remind me of Charles Bridge in Prague, but yeah, it does have its own charm, and the river is pretty amazing. There's some people kayaking behind me there, and you could see the Marienplatz castle or whatnot up on the hill over here. So pretty amazing time. I think it's time to go to Rothenburg though, and time to go get into the hotel, so check back in a moment. Alright, I just realized that I didn't really film an end for today, or these 2 days, so I figured I'd do it here. We're currently at the hotel, and it's way early in the morning. We're about to go get breakfast, but I figured I could end yesterday or the day before's vlog because it was a 2 days worth of travel, leaving on Wednesday and arriving here on Thursday morning, and then just continuing traveling in Frankfurt at that time. We've made it out to Rothenburg, and it was super late, so it was actually not that late, I'm sorry. It was about 9 o'clock at night when we got here, and so we kind of just checked in and took our respective showers and then went to sleep because we were all super tired at that time. Now it's actually 7 in the morning, and we're all feeling good, and we're about to take off. So I guess I'll see you in the next one.
Well, it took us a minute, but we found the actual fountain that my mom was referring to, so we'll see. Come. Oh, no cameras. No cameras. I saw this.